Debriefing interview of Captain Martin of the United Aerospace Research Vessel, months. In your own words, please describe the events of the past 72 hours as they relate to your encounter with the Aquili ship. Yes, sir. Our ship, the Months, is a decommissioned defensive transport ship that has been repurposed as a research and test vessel. All armaments and weapons systems were removed during the transition to a research-only role. Yet you survived a hostile encounter with the Aquili. Yes, sir. Okay, continue. We were in a minor dust nebula testing some new deflector arrays that we believe will improve our ability to scatter and avoid hazards when traveling at relativistic speeds. These new systems, the HFY deflectors, allow us to use curved deflector fields instead of flat planes. This is important because it reduces impact energy. Less energy means debris, dust, and other hazards get swept out of the way instead of bounced. With these new curved deflector shields, our flight paths can travel more directly through denser nebula and reduce travel times. It will also allow us to more easily shield ourselves from enemy weapon systems, as was demonstrated. Yes, that's what we're here to discuss. How your unarmed research vessel with only a prototype shield system managed to not only survive, but defeat a hostile Aquili hunter, and almost completely unscathed at that. I'm getting to that, sir. This is all very important in understanding how and why we were successful. As I was saying, we were testing the HFY system in a nebula that was scouted and deemed clear 8 months ago. It was supposed to be a safe and moderately dense dust cluster, perfect for shield testing. Nearing the end of our final testing phase, a camouflaged Aquili ship detached itself from a small asteroid we were using as an instrument anchor. God, they must have been waiting there the whole time in stasis. Yes, their ship was smaller, but also faster and more maneuverable than the Months. We used the HFY system to curve a shield around our ship, as we theorized its future uses to be. It worked great, exactly as predicted. Aquili fire just ricocheted and bounced off our shields. That left the problem of getting away. Even if we weren't putting all our extra energy into the shields, the nearest armed ship was more than 24 hours away. We could try to run, but that left us being fired on the whole time until someone came to our aid. With an experimental system, we couldn't risk that the shield would perform perfectly that long, or that the enemy wouldn't find a way to break through. It was Ensign Nelson that came up with the idea that saved us. As you can see, I have already offered a commendation and requested promotion for her. Yes, I read that. Now please continue the report. Well, it was Ensign Nelson that first noticed that all the Aquili weapons were deflected by the HFY system. All. So her suggestion was this wild idea to coax the enemy ship close by feigning ship damage. We pumped all the external hatches full of pure O2, then used chemical flares to create the impression that we suffered explosions. That explains the hull scorch marks and burns at least, thank you. Good to know it wasn't enemy fire. Yes, sir. After we blew out and detonated our gases, we stopped our engines and drifted. The Aquili ship came alongside us in the usual docking maneuver they use when boarding. At this moment, Ensign Nelson had her team curve the HFY system inside out around the enemy ship. Well, they obviously noticed the energy signature of our ships change, because they suddenly started firing all their weapons in a panic. The weapons that only ricochet and bounce off the HFY system. Oh. Oh my. Yes, it's exactly as you're imagining it right now, sir. Their own weapons began bouncing around wildly inside the shield, and shot their own ship all to hell. As their ship began taking fire, they began to fire in new directions. I can only assume they thought that they, themselves, were being hunted by another human ship that was invisible. Sir, they blew their own ship to scrap in their attempt to get out of our shield. After their ship was completely disabled and mostly destroyed, we sent a recovery team to find any surviving Aquili. We found 2 still alive in a damaged pod. We managed to bring them and the pod aboard and used it as their makeshift brig until we were able to meet up with the Dolph and your ship, the Kearney, sir. From there, you know the rest. Excellent. This preliminary report will be most useful. Go ahead and get some rest for now, Captain. You and your crew have earned it. I will personally approve Ensign Nelson's promotion when we arrive at Station Evergreen. Now, before we wrap up, is there anything else you want in the preliminary report? Fine details will be updated after we get to Station Evergreen. Yes, just one thing. It's not very important, but I think the crew deserves to have this detail logged. Oh? And what was that? Sir, we didn't name the new shield system until after our encounter. Until the encounter, it was just the curved deflector system. It seemed fitting to rename the system after seeing how it performed. It's printed there on page 2 of your report. Anyways, thank you again, sir. I look forward to settling down for a couple of days on our way back to the station. Thank you, Captain. Dismissed. Let's see. The SHY Stop Hitting Yourself system. Heh.